Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. This is Nadia. Today we are going to be discussing new launches from Xerjoff. So with that time, what we're going to be looking at the new fragrance Deified, as well as Elle anniversary and Homme anniversary. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and either a team member will answer them or we will get to them at the end. Uh, I am going to use the time to do a quick review of just some basic Xerjoff background and knowledge. So, a little bit about the brand. Of course, the brand was founded in Turin, Italy in 2007. Sergio is very proud of his Italian heritage and wanted to bring together Italian craftsmanship, innovation, and style into his beautiful fragrances. Of course, they use high quality raw materials, which are sourced from places all over the world, and helping to kind of transport the wearer to this truly olfactive experience. The Xerjoff team does create for private customers, including royalty around the world, and they continue to have very exclusive partnerships as well. This morning, I actually, myself and Claudine, had a one-on-one training with their trainer, and I got some great tidbits that I'm excited to share with all of you in our upcoming sessions. So a bit about Sergio. So of course, Sergio, the founder, creative director, creative manager for Xerjoff. Again, he was born and raised in Turin. He moved to London to study, and that was, something that played an impact or played a part on what we'll learn about actually today in the two fragrances for Elle and Homme. But Sergio's kind of interest in the fragrance world was not something that came about as an adult or that he kind of stumbled upon. It was very deeply rooted in his childhood. He was born into a fragrance-loving family. His parents used to travel and bring him back incense and essences and oils from all over the world. His grandmother had a collection of fragrances as well. And so when he decided to move to Grasse to pursue a perfumery career, perfumery education, it really came as no surprise to his family. So, of course, if you've never had a Xerjoff training before, or just have customers who come in frequently asking about the name, so the name origin actually comes from two of Sergio's nicknames. The first nickname is Sir, which when he was studying in London, his colleagues used to call him Sir, short for Sergio. And Joff is a nickname that his maternal grandmother had for him. So he took his two nicknames and put them together, and the name Xerjoff was born. So the XER in front of in the beginning of the word is pronounced as Sir, S-I-R, Sir. Because I know there's a lot of mispronunciations with the X in front of the word. And of course, the iconic cap that adorns all of these Xerjoff bottles. So in Turin, Italy, the city is home to the largest Egyptian museum outside of Cairo. So if you want to study Egyptian history, of course, you can go to Cairo, you can go to Egypt, but the next place you can go to is Turin, Italy. And of course, if you are born and raised in Turin, that is a really cool thing to have happening in your town. And so Sergio took inspiration from the crowns that the pharaohs used to wear. And so he then decided that he wanted to crown or to top all of his beautiful fragrances with this very kind of iconically shaped crowns. And so that was how the tops of all of the Xerjoff bottles got their iconic shape. So we are going to start off with our first fragrance. And if you happen to be in store right now, I do encourage you to smell along with us. We're going to be smelling again the Iommi Deified as well as Elle Anniversary. I know you don't have Homme Anniversary in store, but we will talk about it. So if you do have those two fragrances, I encourage you to grab them to smell along with us. So the first fragrance, Iommi Deified, is part of the Blends collection. And so this collection brings together perfume with passion. And so this brings together different sensory elements to create, again, this very multisensorial experience. So we can see here this kind of endless pursuit of music, art, architecture, cuisine, and they really want to like open the door for exploration. And so within this collection, the three fragrances that sit in the collection at the moment are all music inspired. And so this Iommi Deified fragrance is no different. This is the second fragrance in collaboration with Black Sabbath's guitarist Tony Iommi and, of course, Sergio Momo. In the first fragrance, which was called Iommi or the Monkey Special, we realize on the fragrance bottle that it's called the Monkey Special because of the small iconography of the monkey head that is on the bottle. That was from the guitar that Tony plays had an icon of a monkey on it, had that sticker of that iconography, which is how the fragrance got its nickname. On this one, you see the skull iconography on the bottle. So they really wanted to capture what this kind of heavy metal rock and roll aesthetic. So again, wearing this like leather jacket, but this kind of iconic imagery of the skull is like a very kind of rock and roll aesthetic. And so this fragrance is very special in many ways that I actually, as I'm going to say this, it's going to dawn on you, and it didn't even dawn on me in the maybe 2-3 months that I've been presenting this fragrance. But this fragrance is a spicy leather fragrance. And so the fragrance plays off of this idea of a palindrome. And so the palindrome, if you don't know what a palindrome is, it is the same thing forwards and backwards. And so in music, this palindromic pattern uses riffs or notes that are played over and over again. And so Tony Iommi uses these riffs and he plays them forwards, he plays them backwards in the music. And so again, playing on that forwards and backwards, the name Deified, if you look at the slide, you can see the word deified is the same word forwards and backwards. I did not even clock that in my brain when I was first explaining this fragrance. It was not until this morning that I even realized the word deified was a palindrome. The word deified actually means to worship someone as a god or as a deity. And Tony Iommi has this godlike status in the world of rock and roll. He is known to be one of the greatest, riff masters of all time, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, which is where the derivation of this godlike status comes from. But the word deified is a palindrome. And so again, playing off of that palindromic technique in music as well. Completely mind blown, I have to say, this morning when I when I looked at the word and realized that. But so this fragrance starts as a leather and it finishes as a leather. You have that kind of spicy leather in the beginning, and then you get a little bit of this like green leather in the dry down. And so this fragrance, whereas the original Iommi fragrance was really capturing the essence of like rock and roll in the 60s and 70s, very being at a club, very boozy, very smoky elements to it. This fragrance is capturing, this kind of heavy metal rock and roll aesthetic, what the music represents today. And so if you're going to a rock and roll concert, again, that kind of iconic thing you might wear would be that leather jacket, a worn in, again, rock and roll leather. And so this fragrance has that same kind of leather theme. Starts as a leather, finishes as a leather. I do want to note that this fragrance, as well as any of the new launches, it started with Alexandria anniversary and will now be any new launch is going to have an NFC tag. This NFC tag is a tag that helps to validate the authenticity of the fragrance. The team at Xerjoff has decided to start doing this with all of their fragrances because there is so much gray market for knockoff fragrances that if you do not have that NFC tag on the bottle, that that it is going to be that it is most likely a fake fragrance. So they did start with their new launches. So the Elle, the Homme, and the Alexandria anniversary, etc., will all have this tag. They are going to go back and begin to retroactively add them to the rest of the offerings within the collection so that fragrance purchasers know that what they're purchasing is an authentic Xerjoff fragrance. This fragrance, as well as Elle and Homme, both come only in the 1.7 ounce. They are pure parfums. This one will retail for $305. Now, going to the 1717 Stone Label collection. Oof, I learned so much about these fragrances, or just even the name. So, the name 1717 and Stone Label are two different pieces. So, in the bottles, you will notice that on the front of the bottle, well, I can show you here, that there is a mother of pearl semi-precious stone that's on the front versus on the Deified and some of the other bottles, you see just the metal with the X on it. So the semi-precious stones that are on this are part of the Stone Label collection. The reason it's called the Stone Label collection is because the original bottles for these fragrances were made of those semi-precious stones. They used to retail from 13,000 to 15,000 euros for this fragrance. They do still have those, but they are for very bespoke customers who come specifically asking for that. They do moderations and things like that. But the fragrances originally used to come in a bottle that was made of a semi-precious stone. And again, they would cost 13,000 to 15,000 euros. So that translates to, it's like, I don't know, 1.7 is the, I think, translation right now to euros. So almost maybe 20,000 plus dollars for each one. The 1717 is the exact position of the semi-precious stone collection within the Natural History Museum. And so when Sergio was studying in London, he used to go to, the museums all the time, and he's very intrigued by semi-precious stones, and he would spend a lot of time there. And so 1717 is the exact location within the museum where the semi-precious stone collection is located. And it's called the Stone because it used to be in a stone bottle. So going to the first one, which is Elle Anniversary. So the first fragrance that was ever created for the Xerjoff portfolio was the fragrance called Elle. And so this fragrance, the original fragrance, was a fruity floral fragrance that had an ambery base. So they wanted to, in celebrating the anniversary of the fragrance, they wanted to keep that same heart that made the Elle fragrance so special, but reimagine it for the anniversary. So what they did was they kept that fruity floral base and really turned it up a notch, adding that lychee and bergamot to the top. That green apple really added this like addictive juiciness to the fragrance. And so that is what is really going to um, keep that base, that fruity floral base, a little bit of that amber on the dry down, but really take it up to the next level. For me, it really is the lychee. It is like that kind of juicy green apple as well in the top note. A little bit of that licorice is really going to set this fragrance apart from the original Elle fragrance. The original Elle fragrance, you can get it in Europe. We do not carry it in the US, but it is available for sale there. We do have, of course, Elle Anniversary available in the US. So again, this comes only in the one size, which is the 1.7 ounce. It is a pure parfum. This one will retail for $425. As I mentioned on the front, you see that mother of pearl stone. And on the bottle, you'll notice those gold flakes. The gold flakes vary from every single bottle because they are applied differently on every single bottle. Because they're applied by hand, we know that you can't always get exact strokes. You can't always get exact, application. And so that's something that's really special about both the Elle and the Homme anniversary. So the Ohm anniversary is going to be an online only offering, but I do want to talk about it as it is the counterpart to the Elle anniversary. So Ohm anniversary is for the gentleman, Ohm meaning male or for him. Again, so taking the original fragrance, which was an aromatic leather fragrance, if they wanted to keep that leathery aspect to this fragrance. And what they did for the anniversary edition, again, to kind of take the heart of the original fragrance and bring it up to, this kind of new modern twist, they added this little bit of candied fruits. They added vanilla to really kind of sweeten it and give it a very modern twist. On this bottle, you'll see that the mother of pearl is more of a gray mother of pearl, whereas on the Elle anniversary, it was a white mother of pearl stone. And so this fragrance, again, that aromatic leather, they wanted to add that this kind of caramel aspect, that vanilla, to appeal to a more modern and young consumer. We do know that, now in store, I'm sure you all see it, that this young male who's coming in is looking for fragrances that are, feel quote vintage, but in a modern way. And that was the kind of approach that they were taking with this fragrance. Um, so again, the gold leaf that is on the front of this bottle, again, is not going to be the same gold leaf from bottle to bottle as it is, hand applied. They wanted to keep the sophistication of the original fragrance, again, with a modern twist. So this one is actually like a little bit of a woody floral, but you do really get that leather aspect with the sweetness. Here we have, again, the 1.7. It is a pure parfum, also retailing for $425 along with the Elle anniversary. And I believe that is all that I have for these two. I did see a pop-up in the chat if I can get to it. For indies, not just online, you can sell it in store. Yes, thank you for clarifying that, Stephanie. So department stores, yours will be online only. For indies, you will be able to sell in store. Thank you for clarifying that stuff. Does anyone have any questions on Deified, Elle anniversary, or Homme anniversary? Any thoughts, feelings, questions that you'd like to share on any of the fragrances? Do you have feedback from customers who may have come into your store to smell?
Hi, Nadia.
Hi.
I was gonna say that a lot of people do actually come for the Elle home. So I know it's only online for department stores, but people come with the picture and actually do show it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, really good to know. And hopefully, now that you guys understand a little bit about the fragrance as well, that you can, help to sell it that they really need to be able to purchase it online.
Good stuff.
Yeah, wonderful. Anyone else? For those who have had Deified for a while, have you found success with the fragrance? Do you find it performing like on par or better or worse than the original Iommi did?
I will tell you, it's more of a sophisticated palette. So we're getting more of those fragrance connoisseurs that are understanding fragrance a little bit better because it's a lot deeper than what they're usually used to with the hot iconic sellers. So some people appreciate it, but it's, I think, transitioning more for the fall. So
Mhm.
it could be something that we focus on a little bit better.
I agree. I do think it is great for fall and winter. Okay. Well, with that, I will give you back 4 minutes of your day. Thank you everyone for joining. I will send out the recording and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or to your respective Euro Perfumes contact. Thank you,
Thanks, Nadia.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Nadia.